Good morning, everybody. Welcome to HRD 631, The Adult Learner. We are now in week number 8. And once again, I want to say thank you for the effort that you've put in so far this semester. I say it all the time. It's hard to believe that we are now in week number 8 when the course is week number 14. So I appreciate the effort everybody has made in staying with the materials, keeping up on your discussion posts, and being really a focused learning community this semester. So thank you for that. So let's get right to week 8 materials, and I'm going to cover some timing issues, the assignments. We'll take a look at the schedule also, but let's get to the nuts and the bolts for the week. So as you can see, we're in week number 8. I have an advanced organizer for week number 9. So this week, the topics: critical theory, postmodern, and feminist perspectives in adult learning. So this week is to me an extremely interesting week from the standpoint of we still are exploring ideas associated with adult learning. And the one that always I have a real interest in the ideas is teaching. Well, first of all, we know teaching adults are different than teaching children, but when we split it a little further, drill down, we get into this whole idea about feminist perspectives. Is there really a feminist model, feminist teaching model, or is there not? And I'm not here to tell you one way or the other, but I will tell you that over my career, I've been involved with developing curricula for women groups, and one of them was when I worked for the Maine Forest Service, we had a program called Women in the Woods, and it really was it was designed for women that owned it could be a small piece of property with woods on it. There's about 88,000 people in the state of Maine that own between 10 acres and 1,000 acres of woods, and a component of that is fairly large component of that is women. So most of the programs we found were designed for men, and men were the ones that showed up. So I've developed, along with the University of Maine Cooperative Extension, a program, or quite a few programs, based upon this model. And I'm really interested in hearing everybody's perspective on all of these this week: critical theory, postmodern, and the feminist perspective in adult learning. So what I'd like you to do is read chapter 11. I'd like you to read the Electronic Reserves article, Critical and Postmodern Perspectives on Adult Learning. And then last week, I've changed things, and this is not unusual as we move forward with the class. I reach out to certain people, I sent certain things, but I've decided that these learning from other topics is going to be an optional reading. So last week I said, okay, in week number 8, I'm going to have everybody read an excerpt of one of these, and that's what the discussion is going to be on. What I'd like you to do, if you have time, I'd like you to pick one of these, and then, if at all possible, and it fits with your learning autobiography, maybe use whatever one of these you use as part of your learning autobiography, only if it fits your story. So, once again, these, last week in the Advanced Organizer, I said you're going to each be required to read one of these, and then we're going to discuss it. I've decided to go a little bit different route this week because I do think all of these topics are really important. But that said, if you have time, I'd like you to read one of these. They're all fascinating, and the idea behind them is when you're reading these, you're going to learn from them about how they learned, and then maybe those could be incorporated. The ideas from any one of these could be incorporated into your learning autobiography, if it fits. Okay. I'd like you to view a PowerPoint, a YouTube video on women ways of knowing. This was research that was conducted on just that. How do women learn, and is it different? Important stuff. discussion question. It's really on feminist pedagogy and the women ways of learning, and I'll get to that. And then we have your learning reflection paper, which is due this evening. If you have not submitted that, I know there's a few that have, or a bunch that have been submitted. Thank you for that. For those that haven't submitted, you don't worry, you have till midnight. And if you haven't, if you need a little extra time, please let me know. But once again, I need to know if you're struggling and or you need some additional help and or additional time with this particular assignment, or any other aspect of the course you're having some difficulties with. So here's the discussion questions. Week number 9, cognitive development in adulthood. And here's, so once again, if you want to get ahead, that would be fine. So the materials have a PowerPoint, slide presentation, Google Slides presentation, and a YouTube video on women ways of knowing, and some other materials, an advanced organizer for week number 9, and then significant points for this week's reading. Once again, the learning reflection paper is due this evening. And then the discussion post. So you can choose one of these. I would like you to actually discuss both of these. Please explain your understanding of the feminist perspectives of adult education. As an educator, is teaching women different than teaching men? Please explain. And believe me, I really don't. These are my prompts to you, but the longer I am doing this, I certainly have my own opinions, and I don't want to share them at this point because I don't want to taint what you're going to say this week. I love this week's discussion post. So the research, Women Ways of Learning, it was conducted in the 1980s. So do you think this is still relevant in today's society? So your comments on that will be greatly appreciated. Now, let's take a look at the syllabus. So we are already, the week starts on March 7th. So as you can see, we have the spring break coming up, not this week, but the following week. I've designed the course so there's no work involved during that week. Now, that being said, some people use this opportunity to get ahead. Some people look at this week as truly they don't want to get online. They don't want to read any books. They just want to be on a break. So whatever you choose to do is fine. Now let me come down to our schedule here. Oh, darn it. Scrolling too fast. I don't know how often people refer to the actual syllabus. So here we are. I am taking this out, and I wanted to show you this because before I send out the video, I will remove this, but learning about adults, learning from others. So I've changed in here, so what you're looking at, this is not correct. We're focusing in on this part, so therefore these books become optional. Looking ahead, the Exploration Project Annotated Bibliography and Learning Organizers due on March 28th. So keep an eye on that. I'd suggest you start taking a look at the syllabus for more information on the Learning Organizer, the Annotated Bib. So where we go from there is we take that. You will get immediate comments back from me, and then in weeks number 11 through 14, you will actually have an opportunity to present, or actually it's more like you facilitate our your discussion forum. So you facilitate our learning. I will have, by the end of the week, I will have a schedule, a doodle poll coming out asking you, please fill out one slot that you would like to participate. Now, we have some timing issues. So the timing issues are the Exploration Project is due in March, the end of March, March 27th. At that point, Those that are presenting in week number 11, I'll give you immediate feedback. You will be the first people that I give feedback because there's a whole process of developing and uploading your materials. But we will have time to go over that. So my point is we are making tremendous progress. If you have any questions about what's going on, take a look at the syllabus, take a look at in the syllabus the actual schedule, and we'll go from there. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please let me know. By the end of this week, I will have everything caught up as far as the assignments. I know I've received some assignments that were submitted late, but I will get those graded and comments back to you. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Hope you have a great week, and I'll see everybody online.